and good evening if you're in Australia. This is 5 Days Live, and today's show is all about what to do after your show. And I'm delighted to say hello to my good friend as I drop this card down and reveal Mourra.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
No, we're just saying that I've just been for lunch, but you're enjoying your first coffee of the day, possibly.
Yes, it is. First
Indeed,
and only.
Indeed. Well, I'm in Britain, so I'm drinking tea, and the message. Oh, you can't see the message on the cup, which is actually pretty good. It says, "I love you," but I'm actually talking about my partner.
I've got my proud Leo mug.
Ah, right. Okay, brilliant. To everybody who's watching the show, welcome. Annie and I have known each other quite a while, since the days of Blab, which we do mention occasionally. Yes. And Annie is the creator of two very useful pieces of software which all live broadcasters should take a look at and be using. I use both of them. And I was going to say hello to Catherine for joining us, and to Erin is saying hello. I think we're already getting some repurpose users in the audience, which is absolutely brilliant. And Corinda is saying that the bot is good as well. Now, for the first time ever on a 5 Days Live show, there is a poll, and I've set it up, and it's got two options. It says yes or no, and the question is, do you repurpose? Now, this is the first time it's ever been run, so if you can see the poll, then just let us know. And welcome, Gail. And Gail came over from RJ's page, and the only thing we're missing at the moment is RJ. RJ will be joining us shortly, I'm sure. All is good. So welcome to the show. And this is, I'm going to show that on the screen, after your show with RJ, Annie and Steven. And we're talking today about what to do after your show. Because the live video is just the first part of the story, isn't it, Annie?
Yes, absolutely. It's the fun part. It's the part you engage with people, but there's a lot more you got to do after the live show is done.
And totally. And there's some things you can actually do whilst you're actually live. Now, I want to run through those quickly because some of them have fallen into disuse. But you can ask people whilst you're live. You can start the repurposing while you're live by simply typing "please share." And if you are enjoying the show, then please share it. This has the effect of actually reaching out to your audience and sharing it with your audience. Now, a little note about this: if you are going to share the show, and thank you if you do, then what you need to do is to actually place a comment there as well in the shared post, because otherwise Facebook will just ignore it. Facebook says, that's a nice thing to do, to share it, but nobody's responding to it. I'm going to ignore it, and I will not increase the reach of the show. So if you ask people to share your show, also ask them to actually comment as well, because that increases the value of the share in actual fact. And hopefully other people will comment as well. And it's a fact that the more comments there are on a live video post, then the more people will see the post. So all the comments today, we're grateful for, and thank you to Gail and to Erin and Catherine and to Corinda for getting us started on that. And the other thing, besides actually sharing a live show, is that you can also, with our new bot, you can ask questions. We've got a new messenger bot, which is called the Askbot. And I can see RJ is getting ready. The Askbot, right. You see, hello, RJ.
I apologize so very deeply, darlings. I had the wrong time in my head, so thank you for allowing me to be on. Hello, Hani. It's great to see you.
Hello. Always good to see you too.
Brilliant. We're just saying that the first thing, RJ, is that there is a poll running on the show today. Facebook polls are running on this show. The question is, do you repurpose? And you can either answer yes or no. And this is just an experiment on our part, because we're actually want to know whether you do repurpose. And at the end of the show, you'd be asking yourself, well, I said no, but I really should be. And if you're sending that at the end of the show, then our job today is done. Yep,
Yes.
RJ, these half-hour starts are a pain because we sort of, our mind is sort of set around starting on the hour, and we always start on the hour. Anyway, other side. As you all know, RJ and I are very heavily into messenger bots as well. So there is a messenger bot running today, and if you type ask, then you can ask us a question privately. Now, this is important. If you type your question in the comments, which you're more than welcome to do, then you get a public answer. If you type your question in the Askbot, you'll get a private answer, and you start in a one-to-one conversation. So you can type ask at any time during the show, and we'll answer it after the show. Obviously not live, because we don't want to distract ourselves. I do enough of that already. Right, okay, so after the show, I suppose that the place we should start is on repurposing. Yeah? Because we both repurpose, don't we, RJ?
We repurpose until the cows come home, because here's the deal. You don't always have, if you've created some genius content, and I know that you are out there all doing this right now, you deserve to have more than one chance for people to see or hear or consume that content. You deserve this in your lives because you're small business owners and you are wearing 78 hats, and it is so difficult. Our jobs are difficult. We're constantly trying to get a message out. But if your work is all focused on that front end of generating content, and you are not taking that content and going, where else can I put this? How else could this benefit humanity? Then you're missing out on an absolutely huge opportunity for getting your name out there. Search engine optimization, all of those cool little techie things we talk about in the background. Just more people will enjoy your stuff. And when I started to repurpose, it changed the way I did things. Absolutely.
And Karen is saying repurposing is the name of the game. It's how to work smarter, not harder. Now that's pretty good lead-in for Annie. And if RJ is known as the queen of bots, so do you mind if I christen you the king of repurposing?
I would be honored. I would be honored, at least for today's show.
Right. Okay. Could we have your view on repurposing in addition to RJ's, and I'll come back after.
Yeah, absolutely. It's taking, like RJ said, taking a piece of content and giving it more life. Like I find you extend the life of your content, especially if you're creating it live. It has that short window where people watch it on Facebook, maybe watch the replay soon after, and then it's kind of gone. It's down the feed and people have moved on. But and search is not really a big selling point of Facebook. It's not that easy to find or search for content. It's doable. I've done it before. I've searched for things on Facebook, but that's not their specialty. Right? So they bring your feed to the attention of your audience, people who like your page, people who are following you. But after that, after a day or two, it's kind of gone. So having it repurposed or having it basically put on other platforms, such as the YouTubes, on your blog, maybe even an audio podcast, just have it on different channels, maybe an Instagram video or on Instagram TV. There's so many ways or other platforms where other people hang out on that may not be on Facebook, but they still want to consume your content.
And that's very true, because we know that 70% of the views of any video come after you finished. And there are different audiences across all the social networks. You can't be everywhere at the same time. You certainly can't be everywhere live at the same time, but you can be in several places recorded. And just catching up with the comments, Karen is saying, love Annie and his programs, which is brilliant. Thank you, Barbara's saying hello. And Karen is saying, your content is evergreen.
Yes.
I think we all agree on that. I mean, bots are here to stay. Definitely. The bots are evergreen. Right. Okay. Which brings us on to quite neatly. One of the things, if you finish doing your video, the show is over, you said thank you to everybody, and now you want to take that content and you want to show it to people, you want people to watch the recording. So what do? You download the recording from Facebook onto your hard drive or onto Google Drive. You upload it to YouTube. You go in, you put the title in, you put the description in, you set all the tags, and half an hour later, you've gone from Facebook to YouTube. It's seamless. It's not a hassle, but it's taking you 30 minutes. And if you're doing 5 shows a week, as some of us are, then it's taking you 2.5 hours, which brings us neatly on to why Annie created Repurpose.io. So Annie, it's over to you to talk about, if you would, please.
Absolutely.
Repurpose.io and what it does.
Yeah, so Repurpose.io was designed, obviously, as the name says, I wanted to come up with a clever name that describes what the product does, and Repurpose.io was available as a domain. But basically, it's taking that one content. Let's talk Facebook Live. So you can set it up so that it takes your Facebook Live videos. And the first thing you need to do, everybody was doing it manually before until Repurpose came out. And basically is to take that, download the video, and upload it onto YouTube. That's the first place. That's the easiest thing you can do. And that has the most value for you. So Repurpose does that automatically. So it's kind of a 2-step process. You set it up. There's a one-time setup where you kind of say, okay, I'm allowing Repurpose to access my Facebook. I'm allowing Repurpose to access my YouTube account. One-time setup. And then you make these rules. You make a rule that says, take all my Facebook videos and automatically upload them to YouTube. And you can say fully automatic, where it just does it, every single video of everyone live. Or you can just say, I want to have a little more control. And you can just manually click the ones that you want. You see a full list of all your videos. You hit publish, publish, publish. You publish the ones that you want. So you got both levels of control. But the idea being is you're getting it on YouTube. You're getting on a search engine, a search, I guess, search specific platform. Like YouTube's owned by Google. Search is big on YouTube. You're just you're extending the life of the video by putting it onto YouTube. And like Steven said, we have the ability to kind of preload your keywords and title and description. So you can load that all up and repurpose so that you don't have to keep manually typing it in every time as well.
And it does save time, doesn't it, RJ?
It does. And I want to go back to something that Ani said just a second ago, was that, if you do repurpose, then you are no longer at the mercy of the Facebook feed. You're no longer at the mercy also of the numbers. How many live streamers out there? And I know that, some of you are new, some of you have been at this a while. How many times do you look at the numbers and go, that's not what I wanted? I get it, I get it. But if you repurpose, you don't have to be at the mercy of that number. You don't have to be at the mercy of the Facebook feed and the way it runs. You've taken control of that. That sparked a little comment there. Rant over.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say Chuck's got a good question about taking an hour show and cutting it up to YouTube. Me personally, I would just take the whole video and put the whole show on there. See how it goes. If you're getting engagement there, you're getting people. YouTube is good because it also gives you stats about how long people are watching, where they're dropping off. An hour. For anybody to sit through an hour, it's a long time. So it depends on the content, depends how it's flowing. But I would start simple, just get that hour up there. If you're finding people are dropping off, you may want to decide to maybe cut it up into 3 or 4 separate videos, and then just have them as separate videos. You might do a little experimenting, but start simple. If you're not doing anything right now, I would just take everything off of Facebook, and whether it's a live video or even a pre-uploaded video, something you've already recorded and you've already uploaded to Facebook, you can also use Repurpose to put that onto YouTube as well.
Yeah, and there's a point there as well. If you're using Repurpose.io, and it's talked about YouTube, but you can also go to Google Drive, and we'll expand on this as we go through it. If you want to edit the video before it arrives on YouTube, then you can send it automatically to Google Drive, and you can download and edit it from there and take it from there. But when it goes across to Google Drive, it will have attributes with it which you can use when you actually manually post to YouTube or to Vimeo or to any other site that you want to be involved in. And Corinda's saying it's normal, which is good. Yeah, so that answers Chuck's question. So we've covered going from Facebook to YouTube. We could now go from Facebook. I would love, and I am trying. I know RJ is doing it, but podcasting.
Mm-hmm. You can podcasting is well, podcasting's been around for a long time, but it's becoming more and more in the mainstream from the past probably at least 5 years or so, getting more and more awareness. And podcasting, especially audio podcasting. I think when I say podcasting myself, I always refer to audio podcast. It's just a whole new way of consuming content for people who are on the go. Like if people are on their cars, people jogging, exercising, whatever they're doing, they don't have to be sitting in front of this computer or in front of a phone and just sit there and watch this device. They can just consume the content on the go. And that's why podcasting is appealing. So that's why a lot of repurposed users have asked, can we take a Facebook Live video and turn it into a podcast audio? And the answer is yes. We've added that feature a few months ago, and you can basically set it up to be fully automatic. So with podcasting, I just want to mention one thing for those who are not podcasting yet. You have to upload the audio file on a podcast platform. There's YouTube is the video platform for videos. For podcasting, there's a lot of services out there, great services. We right now integrate with SoundCloud and with a service called Libsyn, Libsyn. But if you're not using those services, using another service, no problem. You can have these audios sent right to your Google Drive or Dropbox as well. So we can publish to SoundCloud, Libsyn, Google Drive, or Dropbox. And basically you can pick a couple of these live streams and turn them into a podcast episode automatically. And even cooler is you can even have an intro and an outro as well. So you can have an intro, an outro uploaded to repurpose.io. And then every episode, we will just kind of strip the audio, stick the intro and outro, and then publish that episode for you to Dropbox or Libsyn or SoundCloud.
Right. A question's coming from Barbara. Let's go back.
I love this question. I'm glad you asked this question. Yes.
Okay, here we go. The question is, can we use it with Alexa briefing?
This second, no, but I'm in talks with a company called effect.co. I think it's EFFT.co. And they have a service where they can get Alexa briefings out, help you basically get that process going through their software. And we're working on an integration together. So we're working on a way so that you can take a Facebook Live or any video that you upload, and we'll have it automatically sent as an Alexa briefing. So that's something that's coming hopefully by the end of this year. We already started the talks with those guys, and they're open to working. Actually, they reached out to Repurpose. They wanted us to integrate with them. So they're eager to get this done. We're excited to get this done. So Alexa briefings are kind of like a shorter version of a podcast, very like little mini audio clips. So it makes sense for Repurpose to be connected to an Alexa briefing service. So definitely it's coming.
I use a service, I'm going to mention it now, called Sound Up Now.
Yes, we were actually talking with those guys as well.
Brilliant.
Yeah, so are you using for the briefings, or they do briefings as well, right? Yeah.
We are.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I use Sound Up Now as well.
Perfect.
I'm glad that you're in talks with them. They're some great guys and great product. Yeah, the Alexa. Well, I could geek out on this for like half an hour, so I'm just going to share a couple of sentences. But the Alexa flash briefing stuff is awesome. Getting on that, and again, those are short little things. So what I do is I take my whole hour Facebook Live, and I keep the notes from it, and then I do a short and sweet version, and I send it to my podcasting app Anchor, and I send it to Alexa flash briefings, and then all of a sudden the short and sweet version is out there too. It really is so cool though to be able to transform what you're doing into an audio podcast, because as Ani said, people are listening to those things on the go. And we're all very, very busy. So, and not everybody has time to keep their eyes glued to a screen. When I first logged into Repurpose, that was one of the things that really drew me was, look, I can repurpose what I've got, but I can even transform it into something else that will reach a whole different crowd of people. It's so pleasing.
Yeah, and we're just constantly adding more. Like Alexa briefings has come up a few times, sound up now, and then effect.co is a relatively new integration we're working on. But either way, we'll get you the ability to go to Alexa briefing. We're also working on getting right now, if you do a Facebook Live, we can repurpose that. Or if you have an audio podcast, we can repurpose that. But people have asked, can I just upload a video? And I have a video on my hard drive, or I have a bunch of videos on YouTube that I want to download off. We can't take data off of YouTube. It's not allowed through their terms of services as a third-party software. But but you yourself can download all your YouTube videos, and then we're gonna, in the next hopefully month or so, we can upload a video to Dropbox, and then we can take it from Dropbox and repurpose that for you as well. So we're opening up repurpose to just go beyond live streaming, so that if you already have content, you already have files on your computer, MP3s, MP4s, you can put them in a Dropbox and set up these rules to convert them from audio to video, video to audio, and distribute them anywhere you want. Catherine's got a good question about Stitcher. Stitcher is not a hosting platform. Stitcher is more like a directory, kind of like iTunes. So there's always this confusion in the podcasting, people who are new to podcasting, is Stitcher is a directory. So with podcasting, you have a podcast host, you upload files to them. They generate what's called a feed, which is basically a file that has all your episodes in it, automatically updated. Every time you put a new episode on Anchor or Libsyn, your feed is automatically updated behind the scenes. And then you can take this feed and you submit it to different directories. So you submit it to iTunes, you can submit it to Stitcher. So you're not actually uploading the file to iTunes, to Stitcher, you just submit your feed to Spotify, Google Podcasts. So these are like directories you submit one time. So Stitcher is one of those. Once you have a podcast feed from whatever podcast host you're using, you submit that feed to Stitcher one time, and then they're going to keep getting updated with all your episodes.
Now, just going back a bit, because you can actually, I'm going with a thought here, which might go anywhere. You could actually get the repurposed IO to create the MP3, reload the MP3 to Google Drive, and then you can actually submit it any way you like, which would include that famous podcasting system that begins with A. Help, RJ.
The famous podcasting Anchor? Is that what you're talking about?
That's the one. You see, that's where teamwork comes in, because you could actually go from, and you get teamwork. You could actually go from Google Drive to Anchor. Now, if you're going to Anchor, you're actually then going out, spreading your wings even further, because Anchor will then submit it to everywhere. Correct?
Yeah.
Or am I just dreaming?
Yeah, well, I don't know how you upload. I'm not familiar with Anchor too. I mean, I know about Anchor. I've never used it, but there would be one manual step to get the content up to Anchor. It's a manual step. We don't have an integration directly with Anchor. We have an integration with Libsyn and SoundCloud. Those are the two. When we are going to add more. I'm actually trying to get in contact with somebody at Anchor. I have somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody. So hoping we can at some point get an integration where we can publish directly to Anchor. But at the moment, you can go to your Google Drive, and then you can have it go. You can manually take it and upload it to your own podcasting platform like Podbean or the others. I think Karinda was mentioning Podbean. That's on our list to integrate directly. But in the short term, you'd have to send it to a Dropbox or a Google Drive and then take it from there and upload it to Podbean.
Yeah, that's that's an awesome thing. For me, you do. There's a little manual step involved, but I don't think we've covered one magic awesome thing that your software does, and that is if you have an audio podcast and you want to turn it into a video, that this software will do it. You can, what it'll do is you set it up the first time to kind of, this is the picture I want behind it. These are the things that I want on the screen. And then every time you have an audio, you can turn that into a video, which people also can like to consume. So you've thought of everything, Ani. I just,
Well, not every. Oh, I can't take credit. I'll be honest with you. Like it's the users, like people who use Repurpose, especially in the beginning. They said, "Hey, wouldn't it be cool to add an intro outro to all my shows, or intro outro video, or intro outro audio?" Like, okay, that's a good idea. So we work on that. So it's a lot of like continuous integrations going on, meaning like feedback from the users, and we're like, all right, a lot of people are asking for this. Let's work on this, and it's a cycle that goes through. So it's not like I'm sitting here dreaming up of crazy ideas, which I do sometimes, but then I'm like, yeah, nobody really going to use this. Maybe I might, but nobody else might. But when I start hearing it over and over again, hey, I want to go Facebook Live to podcast. I want to be able to add intro, outro. I want to be pulling files from my Dropbox folder. Then we're like, oh, this makes sense. You know, it fits into our idea, our vision of repurpose.
Well, and I think that's one of the things that I like the most, because being a one-person tiny software company myself, I know that user-generated requests shaping the look and the feel of the product and what it can do. I think that's really, really important. You run into a lot of software companies who they make something and it's like an amazing thing, but then you get to the customer service part of it, or you get to the customer suggestions part of it, and there's nobody there, baby. You know what I mean? But with this, I found you and your team to be super responsive to, hey, what if we did this? And I appreciate that so much, because I know that, where my money's going is a place that I can have a teeny tiny RJ sized influence on. So that's awesome stuff.
No, thank you. No, I've always it's very important for me, like you said, to be able to, not only for me to be reachable, but the team is reachable as well. Obviously, we can't do everything, every single feature request. People have asked for the craziest things, and they're good ideas, and I get excited. But I'm like, we can't do everything. But when we see patterns, we see all right, intro, outro, Facebook Live to podcast. That's it's not for everybody, but a lot of people are asking for it over and over again. So we do try to look at it and just kind of prioritize based on how many times it's been requested. There's a couple of questions, maybe.
There are, yeah. From Barbara, do you offer a done-for-you type monthly service? I know. Well, it's over to you, Hani.
Yeah, for me, I mean, we never considered it. We always thought the software was easy enough to use, but so I guess the short answer is no. Well, we don't, but that might be something we can consider down the road. But there is a free trial. To be honest, it's a free trial. If you haven't used it, you can try it out for free, get a feel for it. We have a couple of videos when you sign up. But that's something be up for it. We have to kind of get somebody on board to be the one-on-one manager to run this part. But we don't have it now, but that might be something we can consider down the road.
It's time for my mini advertisement and RJ's too. We'll be posting affiliate links in the thread after the show, so if you sign up to Repurpose.io using the links, you will actually benefit not only yourselves but us, and we'd be grateful for that. And all we can say, I've been using Repurpose.io for a long time now, and it simply works. And I love the phrase that Annie coined earlier in earlier shows that the three of us done together, which is set it and forget it. And you can set up, I'm going to say the American word here, route. I would rather say route, but route I'll go with. And set up the route, make sure it's okay. Once you're happy with it, doing it manually, you can set it to automatic, and you can just set it and forget it. So in terms of having somebody to manage the service for you, you spend an hour of your time setting it up, and then you can forget it, you can manage it, and you don't have to do anything. So it is a very simple process, because Annie and his team have done is they've taken all the tech stuff out of it, and all we have to do is button press, and it's just so straightforward to use, RJ.
It is straightforward to use and set up. And I guess I'll tell this story again. I told this one last time, but it is, I think the thing, because I had heard Steven talk about this service for about 1 billion years. And I'd heard him talk about it, and I thought to myself, I can upload videos to YouTube by myself. I don't have to pay a service to do this for me. I'm not that, cool. But I finally checked it out, because if Steven's on it, I need to be on it. Steven is an expensive friend, people. And so I checked it out, and what was transformative to me about it was, you can totally hook your Facebook Lives to YouTube. That's a good thing, but it made me think about my content in a whole new way. It made me think about delivering my shows. It just opened my eyes to many, many other possibilities. And it was so very exciting that it was about 10 minutes. I had the free trial for 10 minutes before I signed up. So
I've done that. with any software and with other software, so you think it's just a brilliant idea. It saves me a load of hassle, a load of time. Let's just do it.
And it's very inexpensive. It starts at $12 a month. You can't pay a virtual assistant $12 a month to do what it does. It's really inexpensive to get started.
It puts the effective in cost effective. It really does. I just made that one up.
Yeah, I like it.
Right, going to questions from Catherine. A recommendation from Catherine. Bob, you can get a VA for that, and some other DFY tasks.
Done for you
tasks.
You knew I didn't know what it was, and you helped me. I appreciate that. Thank you. And Charles saying, I love this. This is my next step. Brilliant. And Corinda had a question earlier. Can you run this service from your iPad?
In theory, yes. It's not fully optimized. You have to turn your iPad sideways. It works a little better. But it's a web. There's no software to download, just for those who never used it before. It's basically you log into a service, repurpose.io, my.repurpose, whatever. You log in, you click, you set up these rules. So nothing's happening on your machine. So you're not downloading or uploading. So in theory, you can. I've done it where I'm in bed. I'm like, oh no, let me just test something out. And I just hop on my phone, check my workflow, and just publish an episode. So yes, you can run it from everything from your iPad or phone. There's a lot of, the screen's a little bit big, so you may have to rotate your phone sideways to see a little better. It's not fully optimized for mobile, but yeah, you can do it for sure. And the beauty is, it doesn't matter what software you use to go live on. That's one people get confused by. People think, oh, I need to be doing Facebook Live on Facebook. You don't have to. You can use whatever service. Obviously, BLIFbot works. Whatever tool, if you're going live from your phone, it doesn't matter. We take the video after your show is over on Facebook. So we're taking the content from Facebook itself. So it doesn't matter what tool you use to broadcast your Facebook Lives. We don't care. We don't even know. We work after the fact, after you're live. So it's basically another way of saying it's compatible with any service that you use to go live with.
And you set up the route, but you can actually, if you're an admin of a page or an editor of a page, with permission from the fellow admin, you can set up a route on your account, because you're admin of the page, to route from that page through to a YouTube account of which you're admin to. So what I'm saying is, excuse me, I'll be back. Carry on for a second.
Okay. So so what Steven is saying is that you have your main page. You can take any video, as Ania said, and put it onto YouTube. But you also may be administrator of other pages. So if you're a social media person and you would like to kind of, if you're, managing other accounts, you can certainly, you can hook up any page that you are an administrator of, and you can hook it to any YouTube account that you're an administrator of. So in fact, you can manage several pages from this one vantage point. And that's really nice too, because then you can, kind of do some setup for your clients and make sure all of this is done automatically. As Steven has said a couple of times, and I think that Ani has said it too, it is, you set it up one time. You might want to check on it every couple of months to make sure everything is going well, but it is truly set it and forget it software.
Yeah.
Are you back with us, Steven? There you are.
I'm back. I'm back. I don't know. We've got an aerial on the roof, so we can actually receive television signal, and it fell down.
Oh, no.
So that was the aerial guy, literally the aerial guy, talking about how to fix it. Right. Okay. Now go back to comments, which we love. And Barbara is saying, can we add those videos to our blog or website? And before you take the question, Annie, I'm going to say to Chuck, I've got your question, and I'll bring it up next.
Okay. So for Barb's question, the answer is yes, you can, but not using Repurpose itself. We have a WordPress plugin, a separate plugin that will do this for you. So if it's a WordPress site, then the answer is yes. We have a tool that will take your Facebook Lives or regular Facebook videos, make blog posts, embed the video, title, description, and even cooler, all the comments as well from Facebook right onto your blog. So we do have a tool for that. That's you don't need Repurpose to use this tool. It's a completely separate tool, but you do need WordPress. So you have to have a WordPress blog, and you install this plugin on your WordPress blog, and it does all the magic for you.
And if you want to go to a site and see it in operation, all the videos that go out on the BLive in 5 page automatically go to my blog page using Simple Social Press. And as I just said, not only does it take the cover photo you've chosen, the description you put in, any tags you put in, it also takes all the comments. So that this is wonderful. This is one of the reasons for taking the comments. One, because people like reading them. And the second thing is Google loves it. Correct, Annie?
Yeah, it's just a social proof for people on your blog. And it's also search engines they like two things. They like people staying on your site more than a few seconds. So the videos there, people are watching for 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. So people, the on-page time goes up because you have a video, and then they like comments as well. And so the comments are actually regular WordPress comments. So just like anyone else leaving a comment on your blog, it looks like real WordPress comments, not like we have a comment section in the post itself. So search engines know to look for comments. To them, that means that people are active on your site, and it just means that the content is relevant. So Google likes that stuff. Videos, which means longer on page, and then comment, which means social proof and people enjoying the post. So you kind of get both with the plugin.
And as I do 7 live shows a week, I'm creating 7 blog posts a week, and those are created by Simple Social Press. I don't have to do anything other than to check them. They go live automatically. I know the text is right because I wrote it, so I don't need to check the text. I know the tags are preset, so everything's good to go, and you can just set it and forget it. And we lost RJ, and this is live video. Hopefully RJ will be back in a minute, which brings us on to Chuck. And Chuck has said, I take that to mean you can using repurpose.io, you can upload Zoom videos too.
Yes. Well, the answer is yes, but I want to make sure how you use Zoom. So if you use Zoom to broadcast your Facebook Lives, then the answer is yes. Once the video is on Facebook, like as a live video, Repurpose can take it over after your live broadcast is finished. We'll take the video and do whatever you want to do with it, take it to YouTube, etc. If you're using Zoom just to record your videos to your computer or to their cloud service, then you need to get that video onto Facebook. You can upload it afterwards, and then Repurpose can take over. So the video has to be on Facebook, whether it's a live video or a regular video, has to be on Facebook before Repurpose can do anything. That's as of today. Hopefully in the next month or so, or I've seen it already, it's kind of working already. Hopefully in less than a month or so, we should be able to make it a bit easier and say, all right, I have this video, I did a Zoom recording, it's on my computer. I'm just going to upload it to a Dropbox folder. And then I can have a rule and repurpose that says every time you see a new video in this Dropbox folder, I want you to do something with it. Upload it to YouTube, convert it to audio, etc. So that's not available right now, but that should be available hopefully in a month or so.
Brilliant.
Oh, thank you, David.
There's a group of us who love Repurpose.io, and it's just, well, it simply works. And subtle, having said, first of all, you get love, and then you get a request. So David's hoping for Twitch integration in the future.
Yeah, that's come up a few times. Not gonna say it's a lot of people have requested it, but it has come up a few times, and I believe it is. They do have an API that will allow us to integrate. My only concern with Twitch is the length of videos. Like from what I hear, again, I don't go on Twitch, but people just sit there and broadcast for like 5 hours, their gaming stuff. So I don't know how that, would cause issues on YouTube and that kind of stuff. I have to explore it a bit. But
yeah,
it is on our list.
Twitch is changing. It's owned by Amazon, of course, and they're now looking for people to actually broadcast chat shows. So they're looking for a new market. They've got the gamers market pretty well sewn up. Right. So now they're looking at a new market, which is chat shows. So but David's shows are doing very well on Twitch, and I think he just wants to share them with the world. So why not? Yeah. As we said at the start of the show, this is the start of the journey. Annie, on behalf of RJ and myself and everybody who's been watching today, I want to say a heartfelt thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you on live video in the near future. We'd like to say anything to everybody before you, before you leave us for the moment.
Well, thanks for having me here again. It's always fun. It's always great to chat. It's my favorite topic to talk about, so I'm always happy to talk all day about it. I want to make sure, I think Corinder had a question I wanted to make sure to cover. That's kind of two questions. New features of Repurpose. We're constantly adding things. We're going to be adding like snippets of audio that you can get into little videos from your podcast. Instead of sharing the whole episode, you can share snippets. That's coming soon.
Ooh,
and I
nice.
mentioned the Dropbox integration as well. That's going to be big. Like when you have a Dropbox as an input, you can take any files. Like you can take your whole YouTube library. There's a way to download your whole library off of YouTube in one shot. You can request that from Google and then upload to Dropbox, and then we can just repurpose all that for you. So there's a lot of, there's a cool feature that's going to really help people a lot. But then another question was Instagram TV. I found a way. Instagram TV is tight. Like it's very hard to get into their APIs, and they don't have ways to get the videos. But I found it's not really a way. It's more of a hack that will let you upload a video to Instagram, and then with a little setting on Instagram, you can have it go to Facebook, and then from Facebook, we can repurpose that anywhere you want. So for those doing Instagram TV, you can have an Instagram TV video, and then that can go to Facebook automatically. I think they have that connection already between the two services. They're both owned by Facebook. And then once it's on Facebook, Repurpose can convert that to a podcast, can upload that to YouTube for you, can do a whole bunch more. So just the fact that Instagram and Facebook, they already built that connection between each other, allows Repurpose to take your Instagram videos and repurpose them as well. And I was playing with that the other day. It actually worked, because you upload to Instagram, Instagram will push it to Facebook automatically, and then Repurpose takes over from there. So I'm actually working on video this week for those who are curious how that all works. So just these things keep coming up, these integrations. Instagram TV is fairly new. I'm like, why do people bother using it? But a lot of people are using it, and I'm starting to think around with it myself. So, as new platforms come up, just kind of find ways to hook that into Repurpose so that Repurpose can do its magic.
Blown away. And just to clarify from David, he was talking about going from Facebook to Twitch.
Facebook to Twitch. Can you upload content on Twitch, or it has to be live?
Yeah, you can upload.
Oh, you can upload. Okay.
Twitch had premieres before Facebook had premieres.
Okay.
So you can upload onto Twitch, and you can run a premiere of a recorded video. Just want to clarify a little point. RJ and I are staying here for another 10 minutes or so. So, but Hani has to dash off because we've just explained why he's so busy creating this fantastic software. So, Ani, thank you for Repurpose.io and Simple Social Press, and we look forward to seeing you again soon. And it's thank you for everybody who's been watching us.
All right, thank you guys. We'll talk soon.
Okay, take care. Bye.
Bye.
That actually worked because when we had Ani on the show last time, he had an appointment. And he missed it, didn't he?
He missed it. He missed the entire thing because we were so busy chatting about Repurpose. Yeah, absolutely.
And David's saying you can also rerun videos as well. I'm just hoping that shows. And everybody's saying thank you for a great show. And that's Erin and Barbara. Thank you. You're welcome. I just love chatting to Ani because he's so enthusiastic and he's locked into an industry which can only grow.
Well, that's really true. And if I was paying very close attention to how many features he was mentioning there and how many things are coming up in the pipeline. And it makes me very excited because now, that only opens up more avenue for create this content once, repurpose it in many, many ways to many different audiences, because people, it isn't like the internet's first out. People have preferences for what kind of channels they like to consume certain content on. And so, we were talking about podcasts earlier and things like that. People love to learn through audio. Some people love to learn through video. So it makes sense to use a service that automatically produces this for you, that puts it out to many, many different kinds of ways and places to consume it. So, again, just don't be at the mercy of the feed, the Facebook feed, and don't be at the mercy of, it can be a drag to constantly create content and then to not have that content working for you on the back end to bring you more audience members. That can be really frustrating. So don't, check out Repurpose. If it's not for you, that's totally cool. You can repurpose it by yourself. You don't have to have a service that, Ani's just makes it super easy for us, but maybe you want to take the time to repurpose a few things a few times, just so you can kind of understand the manual process behind it and why you would want to do that. Maybe there are people out there who don't understand why you would want a copy sitting on YouTube. If you're not wanting to be a YouTube star, why are you putting videos over there? You're putting videos over there.
So no, carry on. I'm with this thought. This is a great thought. Carry on.
Yeah.
I know what it is.
You know what it is. Steven and I are deeply bonded, everybody. So the reason that you want a copy sitting over on YouTube, and while you're setting it up in Repurpose, they allow you to say, these are the tags that I want, and so that it's properly done over there. It's not just a video sitting over there. But the reason why you want one on there, even if you don't want to be a YouTube star, is that people are searching for this stuff on YouTube. People are, you can drive people back to your live stream show by putting a link right there in the description. And that's what my Repurpose does. It throws a link to the show right there in the description so that people can click on it, get to the actual Facebook Live, and they can ask questions and comment right there in the thread. Sometimes I'll be like, somebody will comment on something and I'll be like, well, that was a couple months ago. Oh, it must be my Repurpose working, driving people back to me. The reason that you want something on different channels maybe than you're on right now is because your audience is choosing that method to consume, and they're searching for maybe somebody just like you on that channel. It makes sense to be there. Is that what you were thinking too, Steven?
I was. And if you, the reason Facebook is a closed system. It's a walled garden. Google can see parts of Facebook, but it can't see what we can see. So if you go to YouTube, everybody can see it. And if it's an exercise, you now want to go and just type in, after this show, of course, type into Google RJ BLIFbot.tv, and you will see a whole host of information about RJ and a host of videos that RJ has repurposed and been a guest on. So that's why YouTube is so important, because it gets you found by Google. Not only is Google the largest search engine, but YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. And it comes to a question from Barbara. When you repurpose it, can it go into the bot too?
Well, it absolutely can. So this is something that I did a show on this a long time ago, Barbara. I think, a long time in internet years. Anyway, a few months ago, I did a show on this one. You can absolutely repurpose content in a bot if it is, I'd say, the length of content, the length of a video should probably be 3 minutes, 4 minutes, absolute tops. I wouldn't put an entire show in, because it's you have to upload video directly into a bot. You can't, you have to upload it. And if you try to upload anything that is too long, it'll say you've reached your size limit, which is a size limit of the video, 25 gigabytes. I got a little technical there. Let me back up. So some videos hour-long shows are way too heavy. So you put a link. And drive people there. If you have an announcement to make, you can say, hey, I was just, you announce some reason that people need to be there. You give them a reason and a link, and you can repurpose that stuff. The other thing that you can do inside a bot really, really well is that, finding those 2-3 minute clips of video and editing that stuff out, and then setting it up so that when people ask a question and the question contains this word right here, then this video pops up as an answer to that question. So an example would be if somebody asked a question, in my bot, if you type the word help in BLIFbot bot, if somebody types the word help, it automatically gets me in the background. If somebody types in RJ, it automatically gets me in the background. If somebody types in talk to human, so that's the function where the bot alerts me. You can also put in a keyword and have a video pop up right there. Like if it was Steven, for example, how do you use BLIFbot.tv? There are many answers to that question, but Steven might have, and he actually might have, a 2-3 minute video that goes through the real basics and maybe leads them to his class on Udemy, and gets that done right there. So there are many ways to repurpose video in a bot. Just remember this: if you're gonna have them watch it in Messenger, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, absolute tops. Okay. 2 minutes is better. If you have something longer than that, it's going to be a resource that you put the link into the bot, and people hit a button and they go to your YouTube video. I hope that made sense. If it doesn't, let me know. I all of a sudden can't hear you anymore.
Sorry.
Oh, that's all right.
It's talking about a live video hub. There's a question from Catherine, an observation from Catherine, which I'm going to read out. Some people don't put... Oh, sorry, before that. Jason's saying good info, RJ.
Thank you, Franco.
Very cool, says Barbara. Brilliant. I'm learning too. I do on every show that RJ and I do together. So I'm just so grateful.
Me too.
Right. Catherine is saying some people don't put their own LinkedIn description on the live video hub. I've even seen their show name and, believe it or not, their own name. So people not putting any details in. We know somebody who's a good friend of mine who I've known in the real world for the last 12 years who just puts, I'm talking about XYZ today. And nobody knows. Nobody, we love her, but nobody knows who's doing it. They're going to do the show. And when they're broadcasting out to multiple pages, like the hub, you can't find the live show. Now, RJ and I have tried to have worked on that, and we'll never stop. We'll never stop. We're trying to do it rather than by telling people to put their link in, which ain't going to work because it's our idea and not theirs. We now, this has been going quietly for the last week. Every time somebody puts a new show onto the live video hub or cross post onto the live video hub, a tweet goes out.
Ooh.
Oh, automatically. I have triple T tweet. And it goes out and it's got the text that people have put in the show, the top text. And if they've put a link in, it shares a link as well. So if you're not putting a link at the top of the show, at the top of the post, then in the tweet, people won't be able to find you. But if you do, they will. Yeah, I'll show you later. In actual fact, I've got a question which is down in the chat. Do you want to take a look at the question while I rabbit on for a minute?
Yes, I don't have us up in another screen, so let me get that while you
right, okay.
are talking
It's just it's the messenger, our private chat thingy, bottom left-hand corner.
Oh, yes.
Right. I'm not going public with it. Right. And Erin is saying, I love that you can link videos into bots. What a great idea. Didn't know that you could do that either. Brilliant. See?
It really is, because sometimes, especially in my work with technology, sometimes people just need a screen-by-screen description of what they need to do. Because here's the problem. I know a lot of technological things, but unless I sit those ideas on a couch of context, people don't understand. So like when I'm verbally explaining, hey, you need to put the link in your description, that's fine. But unless people like work every day in this stuff, like Steven and I do, sometimes they don't understand. So yeah, you've gotta throw some context around it. Video is the easiest way to do that. And so, yeah, one thing that to be careful of though is if you're doing a lot of screen sharing, phones get pretty small. So what I'm about to start doing in some of my explainer videos is say, hey, watch this thing big. You'll be able to get all the details. If it's critical that, if it's way too small to view on a phone, and I'll actually test view it on a phone first. So that's some great stuff to do. And definitely I want to mention one thing before we go. And this is something Karen Glasser taught me. Karen of the Little White Lie Digital Network showed me, a repurposing where you can grab because we've been talking about video to audio, audio to video. But what we haven't been talking about is how do you turn that audio into text and then make a blog post from it and have that on your site as well. Because some search engines are looking for the text part. Some people actually like to read more than they like to watch a video or listen to a sound clip. I know, right?
Wow.
Gasp, people. I made something gasp just now. So I learned this from Karen is you can go to a place like temi.com, get your stuff transcribed, and it's not the best transcription in the world. But I do this with my audio clips. I haven't gotten very many up on my website yet. That's me being behind, people. But if you look at, I'll put the link in the post or in the thread later. There's a post that I did it on. Timing is everything with messenger bots. I've got the Facebook Live, I've got the anchor clip, and I've got the text blog there, all in the same place, so that folks are driven to that one place and they can have a choice of how to consume the content. So that's another repurposing that's crazy.
And just to confirm, Live Video Hub now tweets all shows that go live, well, are posted on the hub. And if you put the link in at the top, people might find you, will find you. And Cheryl's saying, you guys make my head spin.
I know. God, we're terrible.
Yeah.
We're terrible.
And Catherine's saying she was a video reader. I used to not to watch videos at all until I discovered Kim Bultzma and RJ. And then the BLIFers. Now I can't stop. All right. Speaking of which, did you see my question?
I did. I think that I would love to go on for maybe a short time today. I would love to talk about the results that you're getting with your Askbot.
Brilliant. Okay. In that being the case, we can now reveal that RJ and I will be back in 90 minutes time
90 minutes.
with our normal show, and we'll be asking the questions, and we look forward to seeing you there. RJ, do you want to close the show, and we'll take a break for 90 minutes?
I would just like to say it's absolutely worth checking out. Repurpose.io is absolutely worth getting on. You know, seeing what you can see. Look to see if you can make a few connections. Look to see, you know, are things uploading properly? You can start small and then go back and add other connections later on. You don't have to set everything up at once. They do have help videos if it's confusing to you, which, you know, sometimes it totally can be. I get it. There are lots of ways. There are lots of ways to repurpose. You know, all you have to do to start is think to yourself, what's the one that I really like right now? Set one up, check on it, and you know, maybe set another one up. You don't have to set everything up all at once. It doesn't have to be a difficult experience. But what I've gotten out of it is I got a whole bunch of things working for me without me having to directly push the button. And that is really helpful for a small business owner like myself and like all of you. And also, you know, if the software doesn't appeal to you, that's fine too. But strongly think about repurposing your content, especially your Facebook Lives. If you're a BLIVer, you know, you don't have to be at the mercy of the feed anymore, and you don't have to be at the mercy of whatever view number that Facebook has, you know, cooked up for those 3-second views. You don't have to be at the mercy of that number anymore. If it's awesome content, if it's really got genius stuff in it, and if it's got you in that content, that can work for you forever. So make it happen, people. And I'm so glad to be here this morning. So sorry I was late, and we'll be back in 90 minutes.
It's a wrap. We'll see you soon. Bye. And I best press the button to end the broadcast, because if I don't, the show will go on forever.